Here's the thing about flavor and feelings. They're inseparable. What we taste, sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami, that's only part of the equation. It's also what we sense, what we remember, and what we feel. I'm Nik Sharma, a molecular biologist turned cookbook author and full-time flavor enthusiast. Today, I'm going to show you how to feel your food with my creamy lemon Sichuan peppercorn pasta. Let's discover together where sensation meets flavor. If you'd like to follow along with this recipe, you can see step-by-step instructions on the ATK app. These guys over here are Sichuan peppercorns. Now, Sichuan peppercorns are the reason your lips tingle and your tongue goes numb in Sichuan cooking. And that electric spicy buzz, that's ma-la. You've tasted it in mapo tofu and kung pao chicken, and it's what makes Sichuan peppercorns so special. Inside the husk is a compound called Hydroxy-α-sanshool. This compound triggers the receptors for pressure in our mouth, not taste. Sichuan peppercorns can be either red or green in color, and either will work in this recipe. This is what a bad Sichuan peppercorn looks like. It's got that little black seed in the center. You want to make sure that that's completely removed. You want a Sichuan peppercorn that's completely open like this guy over here. It'll give you the best flavor and the best texture to your sauce. I'm going to start by toasting the Sichuan peppercorns. As the Sichuan peppercorns heat up, their oils will rise to the surface, and that's where the flavor blooms. I'm toasting the peppercorns just until I catch that first hit of aroma. Right now, I'm getting a beautiful piney, citrusy hint of resin that's bright, sharp, and wild. But the aroma is just the beginning. I'm going to toss these toasted Sichuan peppercorns into this mortar and pestle. You start by gently pounding to crack them open, and then you switch to that circular motion to help grind them down. If you skip that first step, bits will fly all over the place. It's a total mess and it's not fun to clean up. I like grinding these toasted Sichuan peppercorns just until I get a nice coarse texture that's a little bit flaky and crushed, because not only does that feel nice on the mouth, but that electric buzz that I've been talking about, that really sinks through. Just like that. I'm using the 7-quart round cocotte from stove to cook my pasta. I love cooking with cast iron. It has incredible heat retention and is so versatile. We're actually going to finish and serve the dish in this as well. I'm going to add my spaghetti and I'm going to cook it until it turns al dente, nothing fancy. Just keep an eye on the spaghetti. You don't want it to overcook all the way through. It should have a little bit of a bite when you break through or bite one of the strands. My pasta's cooked beautifully. It's al dente. And now what I'm going to do is turn the heat off. And before I drain the water, I'm going to collect about a cup of pasta cooking water and save that for later. And now I'm going to drain my pasta. To start the sauce, I'm mincing some fresh garlic. I'm using this Willing hollow edge rocking santoku knife. It's so sharp you have to be careful. It's also ergonomic and helps me move quickly. I love mincing garlic by hand, and this knife does the perfect job. In goes my garlic and half of the ground Sichuan peppercorns. I'm keeping the heat at medium, just enough to coax everything out. Remember those piney, citrusy notes that I mentioned earlier? This is where they bloom. Chicken broth softens the sharpness and it keeps the garlic from going too far. Now that this has started to boil, I'm going to reduce it to a simmer and let it reduce to half its volume. To get that rich velvety mouthfeel, I'm adding 2 MVPs today, Crème fraîche and miso. Crème fraîche is kind of like yogurt's cooler, creamier cousin, similar fermentation, different bacteria, and it uses heavy cream instead of milk. I love crème fraîche because it adds a nice brightness to the sauce, and this will help build up creaminess, give it that silky texture and mouthfeel. Next, I'm going to measure out my miso and add it to the sauce. Miso is from a fermented product, but here I'm more interested in the starches because they'll help thicken the sauce. And that's what I'm going for here. I really want to focus on texture and create that beautiful mouthfeel with this sauce. Now I'm just going to whisk it together so it starts to combine, and the sauce will slowly start to thicken as it cooks. Now I'm going to give this a little taste. It's creamy, it's bright, it's everything I love. And it's time to add a few more ingredients in here to put this all together. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors today, Tastebuds Willing. If you love to cook like me, you owe it to yourself to use high-quality knives and cookware, and I love Tastebuds Willing in my home. Check out the links below to learn more. Got a couple of lemons with me, and I'm going to extract them for their juice, which will add brightness, and lemon zest to kind of build up on those beautiful citrusy notes from the Sichuan Peppercorns. I am zesting the lemon, and I can already smell those lovely, citrusy, fresh, bright notes from the lemon zest. And the zest is this thin, yellow little outer layer, and inside it are little sacs which contain the lemon oil. Never skip the zest. It's where the magic lives. Now that's done. I have enough lemon zest. I'm going to add this directly to the sauce, and we're going to tie this all together. So I'm extracting the lemon juice, and this is going to go directly into the sauce. And finally, black pepper. It's an ingredient that often gets ignored, but here it matters because it brings the last sensation this dish needs: heat. Now, if you're thinking, well, pepper's not spicy, you might need fresher pepper. Whole peppercorns, not the pre-ground stuff that's collecting dust in the spice rack. That's because ground pepper, especially when exposed to sun, heat, and humidity, can fade fast. The heat in pepper comes from a compound called piperine. It's like capsaicin's milder cousin, the one that's responsible for chili heat. So the next time you use pepper in a recipe, don't sleep on it. Make sure it's freshly ground, straight from whole black peppercorns. You'll get more flavor and a better aroma. Now I'm going to finish this right here in this beautiful coat. The sauce goes in, plus about half of the reserved pasta water. I'm folding the pasta with all these liquids in the sauce. I'm looking for that sweet spot. Look at that. It's silky, smooth, creamy, and it's coating every strand of pasta beautifully. You can see some of the sauce that's at the bottom. That's all going to be absorbed by the pasta and coat it beautifully to create that luxurious velvety texture. I'm also going to stir in the rest of these ground toasted Sichuan peppercorns. The lemon juice I added earlier softened that sanshool's activity a little bit. So now I'm adding more peppercorns to dial that tingle right back up. I'm going to add some parsley in here. It adds a pop of green, a fresh grassy lift, and a little brightness to balance the richness. And with that, it's time to dig in. And I'm not going to do this the proper chefy way. The pasta is ready to go, but there's one more thing that I want to add here: Parmesan. Don't stop, just keep grating. I love how the heat from the black pepper and the tingling buzz from the Sichuan peppercorns cuts through the richness of the sauce. Just the sourness from the lemons and the umami from the miso and parm give this a deep flavor. And the tingling and buzzy sensation on the edges of my mouth changes the way this whole dish tastes. I can't wait to see you cook this at home. You can find links to all the Tastebuds Willing products featured in this video in the description below. See you next time.